Hi guys, this is Wirehead King, and today I'm bringing you part 7 of the Dojo tutorial series. In this part, I'm just going to be finishing off all the materials, so we need to unwrap a few things and need to make a few materials, or a few textures, and make the materials as well, of course. So this is going to be quite a long part. The reason why it's going very long today is I think the last part was kind of rubbish, because all we were doing was just unwrapping things. And also we missed a part last week because my microphone broke right before I was going to record a video, which is just the worst timing ever. But now I've got a new one, and so far it's working brilliantly after like the 10 previous attempts at recording this video. The audio has been fine. It's a Yeti microphone, by the way, if you're interested. So let's get into this. Okay, so first of all, because we're just going to be doing all the materials now, well, the rest of them, it might take a while, so you know, if you've got a full bladder right now, I think you might want to just void it, if you know what I mean. Same with bowels, or if you're hungry or thirsty, eat and drink, whatever. Just, you know, if you've got anything you need to do it now, because this is going to be the length of what some people call a normal tutorial, which is quite long for me. So alright, let's get straight into this. Okay, so if we just look at what we've got so far, you can see that it's kind of slow, but you know, it's kind of dark right now. The light needs to be repositioned, and I think that's it. Oh, and of course we need to, you know, get some proper materials on. But one of the main things that sort of sticks out is that everything's really bland. And that's because so far all we've done is just put images over the top of this just to see how it's all going to fit together. But when we play around with the materials, everything's just going to become much more lively, and there's going to be a lot more light bouncing around, so then we might need to adjust the lighting a little bit more. But, you know, we need to adjust the lighting now to get a good look at what it might look like at the end. So, first of all, I think there's not enough light hitting the back wall, so I'm just going to select the sun lamp and just sort of rotate it towards the back a little bit more. Might even just rotate it, make it a little bit more vertical, like so, and I think that would do for that. I might even just make it a tiny bit more orange instead of yellow, like so. Maybe even increase the strength to 2.5. And for the world, I'm not too sure about this yellow colour. I was going to make it white in the compositor, but there's no need to. So I'm just going to make it completely white and maybe set the energy of this to 2. And what that will do is just, when we go into camera view, it'll just make the dojo just a lot more bright when it wants to load, that is, or render. It's taking a while. There we go. Yeah, so you can see it hasn't done much of a difference, but when we get materials properly assigned, it's going to look great. Alright, so the main thing that you're probably noticing is the floor hasn't got any colour yet, nor have these paintings and the scrolls, as I keep calling them. But we also need to get some materials onto the things in the windows, sort of grid thingies. Okay. Sorry about that. Alright, so let's get on with that. Starting off with the floor. As you can see, I've already put in the where the individual materials will be going. So yeah, we may as well just unwrap this right now. So to do that, it's really simple. Just gonna go into edit mode, go into top view, make sure it's in orthographic. Select every face or vertex or edge or whatever by pressing A, then just pressing or loading up. Let's start off with the wood texture. So let's just open up some sort of wood texture. I think I went for that. That might have been it. I don't even know actually. I might have used a different material or a different wood. Might have even been. I wouldn't have been fine with. They're all modern in that folder. It would have been planks then. Clean. There we go, this one. Okay, so let's just open that up and then press U, and then where it says project from view, just click on that. And I'm not going to go with project from view bounds because the image is a square and this is a rectangle, but if this was just one big square I would go for the bounds, but instead I'm just going for project from view. Okay, now it's the wrong angle, or I want the wood to be going sort of going up the room instead of just going sideways, so I just need to rotate this by 90 degrees, and then I'm going to need to scale this up quite a lot, because if it's just the same size as the image it's just going to be just a few planks just going up and that's going to look stupid. So I'm going to scale it up a bit, but what might help is if I put in the image, and that might be input. It's been a while since I've been on Blender. Here we go, image texture. Okay, so let's just type in wood. Which one was it? Clean 0055, that's that one. Okay, put that into the diffuse, and if we go into input texture coordinate, so we'll move this back, we can put the UV into the vector there. And now if we look into shaded view here, you can see the planks are still a bit big, so let's just scale this up even more. And that's looking okay, so let's leave it at that. And with the light and dark cloth, in fact let's get rid of the dark cloth. Oh no, that's fine, not to worry about. Let's just stick with the light cloth for now, because the dark cloth is the exact same thing as the light cloth except it's been made a bit more dark. So I think may as well stick with the same unwrap, or the same map that we've got already. So under input, texture, image texture, I'm just going to load up some sort of fabric. I really need to bookmark this in the new Blender. Here we go. Fabric, do I have that? Yeah, there it is. And I don't remember which one I went for in the end. I remember I went for the one that was the most, or the least wobbly. So I need to sort of compare the two. I think, I don't remember. It might have even been, I think it was this one actually. But it doesn't really matter because they're both kind of streamlined. Okay, but there we go. So let's just go into, put this into the diffuse and get the texture coordinate input. And the texture coordinate thing, I think I've said in a previous part, you don't really need to bother with this because by default it's set to UV if you've got a UV map. But I like to just do that anyway, just in case something happens and you screw something up. I don't really know what could happen, but you need that to go into there, so that it would always be UV, just in case you play around with other sorts of maps. Yeah, but chances are you're not going to do that, so I'm probably wasting your time. But there we go. So this fabric is looking quite dark, and it's looking sort of blending in with the wood a bit too much. But that's fine, we'll be changing that later. But now what we need to do is just get the darker fabric, like so, or those bits, and then there's that random loop cut in the middle, and I don't really remember why. I think that was an accident, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, so let's just add in a new material, call this dark cloth. Wait, no. Get this to light cloth, then press this 2. Oh, hang on. Come out of edit mode, yeah, come out of edit mode. In fact, no, in edit mode, assign this, then press 2, then call this dark cloth. And then if we make the viewport color of this black, we should be able to see, yeah, it's dark. So for the image texture here, just put a mix node in the middle. Okay, oh, mix RGB, okay, it's changed the name, there we go. So we just put the fabric into the top one there, and then just make this completely black. Then I just change the factor here to 0.9. Then, oh, it's deciding not to show up in this. Maybe if you change this to material view. There we go. You can see now it's got these nice black lines on it. Okay, so now that we've done that, we've got one more thing to add. Oh no, two more things. We've got the these grid thingies. Pillar 2, that's the material, okay. Oh, seems they do have materials after all on them, but I don't know, I think I might just get sort of separate these into different materials. So let's just click and drag over those, or alt and drag with the middle mouse button over these here. So deselect all of the normal pillars, and then just add in a new material, call this window grids, and assign that to those, and then you can just make the these a dark material or dark viewport color, and I might even just make these black, just because in my original there, as you can see, like over here you can see I've got this wood material, and it just looks kind of strange, so I'm just going to stick with blackness because it sort of looks better in my opinion. Okay, so and then for these scrolls, now for these scrolls I actually went into Photoshop, and if you don't have Photoshop you can use GIMP, and you can even use Paint for this. All you need to do is just get a font and put some letters in, and the font I used, if we go to DaFont, I'm going to embarrass myself by failing to find it now. DaFont, you get loads of fonts from here. They're all, well, most of them are awesome. But if you just I just typed in Japanese, and then I got I think it was that font and this, yeah, that font, which is actually Chinese. And I thought it was Chinese when I looked at it, but I thought, oh, it's called Japanese, it must be Japanese. But then it turned out it was Chinese, so that's why the Chinese letters are there in the Japanese dojo, which seem to, get a few people confused on various places on Facebook where people have been posting it and stuff like that. And in Blender Artist, they're all confused at the Chinese letters, but that's why. It's because I'm an idiot. So, with this scroll at the bottom, I'm actually just gonna select the bit at the bottom here, because it's sort of annoying me that it's not completely level, and I'm sort of gonna snap it there somehow. Think, yeah, just snap it. Oh, what have I done? Snap it to like this top vertex, like so, and that should be. Well, I'd like to zoom out like that. There we go. Yeah, that's looking a bit too high actually. So let's, or is it? I don't know. If I were to move this along the x-axis, oh yeah, it's a bit too high. So just snap it to there. Is that right? Nope. Well, it's good enough, so let's just leave it. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, Photoshop. Hasn't opened yet. Yeah, hasn't opened yet. So, yeah, when it opens. Meanwhile, you can just look at the random things I have on my desktop. That's what most people do. Okay, here we go. So, what we need to do now is get the measurements of the things. I don't even remember how I did that. In fact, actually, I don't think I did. I just put some random symbols on and then just unwrapped it. Yeah, okay, so let's do that. Let's just make a big canvas. Yeah, why not? Why not that size? Okay, and then just get the text thing out. Then just get the Japanese font. Where's J in the alphabet? Is it up here? Oh, there it is, Japanese. Okay, even though it's Chinese. So, I just put in some random symbols. I think I just picked the ones that looked coolest. And it turns out that I said something about loving sisters or something. My luck was just kind of weird with this. Not only was it the wrong language, it was also talking about incest. So I just put in, I don't even remember what I just put in there. Was that J? I think that was J. Yep. Then this one was S. Nope. Okay, that's just a mystery. And this one was, no, Q. Yeah, I think it was Q. There we go. Oh, was that the other one? No. Okay, so that was Q. So yeah, that's what they are, if you're wondering. And you know, I'm not really too sure. I'm not such an expert with Photoshop. But what I did, so I'm not gonna know any cool tips that you might know on how to do things a bit quicker, if you know that's a problem. So I'm just gonna press Control J. Oh no, that duplicates. There we go. Control E. There we go. Control E with the text layer selected, and I'm just gonna scale them up with Control T, just holding Shift and making them bigger. I shouldn't have done that now because it's all blurry. Okay, let's just undo that. Can press. Oh, we can just press Control T with them staying as text. So that's cool. So that's going to be one scroll, and then I may as well just duplicate this. Sort of slide it over. I think if you hold Shift, it goes a bit faster. There we go. And over here, just put some random letters: U, G, and O. And they look too similar for me. Okay, let's set this to T. That looks weird. P. Oh no, we'll use that. Oh, that's what that letter is. P. Okay. C. Okay, there we go. And then now this one, we may as well change that to Z. Yay. Okay. And then there's that little scroll, which I decided in the end we'll only have one symbol, so just click over here and give it I. Now this one needs to look the coolest because it's only going to be on like a single letter or single symbol scroll thingy, so it needs to look pretty awesome. And yeah, that's all I did with this as well. Another thing that got people a bit baffled on Facebook was what the letters actually said. Like I said, they say something about incest within sisters. And I did not choose that. I just picked the things that looked coolest, and it turned out it had a weird meaning. So okay, let's just make that nice and big because it's going to be on one scroll, so I may as well. And then, oh, there we go. In fact, I might just spread out these symbols just so that the map, I won't accidentally get some weird, you know, they won't join up with this one. And really it might make sense to just make them separate images, but I'm just being lazy here. Okay, so there we go. And you don't have to worry about there being fabric in the background. We're going to do that in the material nodes. So there we go. That's our symbols done. So just save this as a JPEG or PNG. I might actually go as PNG today. Okay, and just find your place. Here we go. Let's just call this letters. Alright, save that. Okay, I don't even know what this stuff means. Oh yeah, that means compression. You're not going to have much. Wait, let's just stick with that. And interlace, I have no idea what this does, but if you select interlace, I think it just adds maybe a few extra megabytes to your image for no reason. So I'm just going to leave it at none, because I really don't know what the difference is. Okay, so let's go into Blender and unwrap these. So let's open up the letters. That's the wrong place entirely. There we go. Letters, there we go. And here we have our own image in Blender, which is cool. So for this scroll, may as well do this one because we've already got it selected. Just going to select the plane in the middle and just press U, unwrap. Oh, and it's decided to just get all squashed for no reason really. Okay, so let's just go into front view, orthographic, and project from view. Okay, and it's still looking a bit not right. Oh, I think I shouldn't do that. Let's just try Smart UV Project. There is no way I can get that wrong. Oh, it still managed to. Okay. Right. Surely. Was I maybe just... Nah, I was trying to take the ratio of the actual image. So let's just you know, figure out something. I mean, shouldn't be doing that. Okay, well, let's just unwrap it normally and then just make it square. Okay, so let's just make it to its sort of square shape. It needs to sort of have, you know, no weird angles. Maybe a bit taller. That's looking square enough to me. So let's just put that over this big symbol here and scroll one. Why is it just one? Okay. Have I got different scroll materials for all of this? Yeah, I have. Wait, do I? Or is it all? If I just have it select scroll one. Okay, it's all got the same scroll material. That's cool. Alright, so yeah, with scroll one, we're just gonna go into. Oh, here we go. Here are the nodes. Just gonna go to texture, image texture, and then just put that in there, and then get the letters thingy, and then look at that. Oh, that one's already mapped itself out somehow. Okay, that's cool. This one, let's just drag this over to. Is that? Oh, okay, it needs to be this one then. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Alright, there we go. And last but not least, these paintings. I just went onto Google Images and searched for some Japanese paintings. So, I'm just going to open those images up now. Came from this folder. That one there. And there's another one somewhere. There it is, yeah. Okay. So now with these paintings, they've already been mapped, which is awesome. But okay, I've got painting 1, and oh, okay, one of them needs to be painting 2. So let's just add in a new material, call this painting 2, and then assign that. Okay, so painting 1 should be that one, painting 2 that one. Okay, that's cool. Now I think this one's actually slightly behind the wall or something, because it doesn't have the same orangey colour that the other one does, or that the other one has even. Oh no, it's lined up, it's just being weird. Okay, so so painting 2, we need to unwrap these. So this will be painting 2 since we're here. Let's just go into front view and then go view, project from view bounds, and let's do the same with painting 1, project from view bounds. Okay. Oh no, this one needs to have the other. Oh, okay, it's decided to just put it into the bounds anyway. Okay, so it's painting 1, we're just gonna go to texture, image texture, and then load up the art and just put it in. And it might, like, you might think it looks a bit squashed or squished, I don't really know what to call it, but a little bit compressed on the x-axis, or it's a bit thin, but it doesn't matter too much. I mean, you could, if you really wanted to, maybe cut off a bit of the image just to get it proportionally correct, which I might just do here. That adds a little bit more realism, but it sort of takes away from the painting, but no one really cares about that, so I may as well do that. Okay, so then with the other painting, we're just going to do exactly the same thing, add in an image texture and get that picture in, and it's already decided to line up, already decided to show in texture view. And once again, you might want to, that's a bit behind the scroll so it's a bit awkward, but you might just want to make it slightly thinner on the map just to get the painting sort of looking good. Alright, and there we go. So now that we've got sort of just images everywhere, let's give this one little test render in the viewport to see how it's looking. And there's not enough light on the actual paintings, which is not so good. I might just angle the light up a little bit. But yeah, other than that, it's looking fine for now. Okay, so there we go. Now, yeah, let's just angle the light up a little bit. So just make it a little bit more horizontal. Okay, so that might do something. Maybe have it facing the back wall a little bit more. And what that should do is just get... What the hell did I just do there? Oh, right, yeah. Normal solid view, there we go. Okay, so let's just see this rendered again. I'm sorry if you can hear my chair creaking. This microphone is just really intense. This new one, I mean, it picked up a silent fart earlier, which took me by surprise. Oh, I don't think we've got the painting frame material in. We could change that now if we wanted to. And I think the shadows are looking a bit dark, but then again, of course, you know, materials, we need to get that all sorted out, then worry about the lighting, because that's all when it's going to matter. But yeah, let's sort of sort out the painting frame materials. In fact, let's make them our first material, simply because it's easy. So let's get painting frame, select that, and just make it hold out. And that basically means it's black no matter what. So no matter how much light you shine on it, it's just going to stay black. And it would be awesome if you could just choose or have it so that you can choose which colour it just stays at, but you can't. So it's good for, like, well, good for solid black things, but it's not really good for anything else. So let's just make the viewport colour black to sort of symbolise its colour. And now we're going to get into the wood textures. Now, it's not hard to do wood textures, but it's a bit time consuming because you need to do quite a few things to get it looking good. So let's start off with wood wall 1, and I don't even know where this is. So, okay, that's getting a good amount of the walls, so we should be able to see quite a big improvement instantly when we do this. So, okay, first of all we need to figure out what this material is, and it's this one. So it's 0055. Okay, and as you can see, I've got these other textures in here, and these are things I made myself in Crazy Bump, which is this really awesome software that lets you just get an image and then just make a displacement, a normal map, a occlusion map, and a specular map. And really we only need the displacement, maybe the normal if I get that working, and specular, and we might need all of it actually. So yeah, let's just make, wait, how many were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so just need to duplicate this 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, include, and then you've got the one we've already got, which is 5 in total. Now, for these, you just need to set it to these individual images. Oh, and if you want to see Crazy Bump, then just look at Andrew Price's tutorial. I'll put a link in the description. He sort of goes into all the details you need to go into to learn Crazy Bump. I'm not going to do it because it's been done before, and you know, just waste some time for the people who've seen it. And this tutorial is going to be long enough. So, okay, okay, so that's the color. That's I really need to see exactly. Right, I think I've done that one. Might have done that one. Let's just do it again just in case. So that one, and then this one is there, and then this one is that one, and oh, cancelled it by accident. There we go. So just remember, it goes color, disp, normal, occlusion, specularity, and I'm going to forget that now. And what we can do is if we just select a node, you can change the name. So this is going to be color. I'm going to say it's displacement. Yeah, it is. Oh, poo! No, 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 no! I just closed Blender. Oh god. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so let's call this color. Oh, it didn't work, did it? Okay, label, color. Here we go. Change the label. That's it. Color, display, without the L. No need for that. Normal. Yeah. Normal. And the reason why I'm doing this is because it's going to be easy to just remember where they are if we just label these. And this is something that not many people do, but it's really helpful. So I recommend you just change the labels instead of just trying to figure out which image is which. This is going to be the occlusion. I think it's going to be the occlusion. Yep, occlusion. And I'll tell you what all of these different things do and how to combine them in a second, but for now we just need to do this, and this will be the spec. Alright, so now that we've done that, let's get into it. So now that we've got all our images in, let's just bring this way down here because we're going to have quite a lot of nodes here. Now a displacement, that can just go straight, well, if you wanted to, it could just go straight into the displacement, but we're not going to do that. In fact, I've just thought, is this the same texture as the floor? Because if it is, there's no need for us to do it twice. Wood floor, I think it is. 0. Oh, okay, yeah, let's just get the floor and just give it wood world 1. Because it's going to be the same, so let's just get rid of that. Okay, that's cool. Alright, so now we've done that. Okay, so we've just put the displacement straight into the displacement, but it doesn't, you can't really control it like that because it's just an image going straight in. However, if we were to combine this with a mix node, to get mix node in, and also just remembered, let's put in our texture coordinate for no reason, just because, you know, I'm paranoid that I might do something stupid and screw the whole thing up. Okay, so I just do that, put the UV into all of these, and that's awesome. Okay, so put this in a mix node, and if we set this to black on the bottom, we can then, put the displacement into the bottom and put the color on top, black, and then you can see that we've got a factor here on how much you want it to displace the floor by. So if set that to 1, it's just going to be exactly the same as how it is anyway, and for now that's all I'm really wanting. Okay, so now for the normal. Now when I was doing this originally, I did this all wrong. I just I don't even know what I did. I think I just combined this with no, I don't even know. Yeah, I think I just put it straight into the displacement with that somehow, but I was doing it all wrong, and I knew I was. I just couldn't be bothered to figure out how to really do it. So right, there's this node somewhere that will, is it somewhere in here? I don't think so. And what it will do is sort of convert an image into a bump map, and that's what we want. There we go, vector bump. Yeah, that's the right one. So we need to put the color into that, and then put the normal into I don't know. 1 second while I just find out. Alright, so after doing a little bit of research, I found out you either use a displacement or the normal. And I'm going to stick with the displacement, so forget the normal exists. So let's just delete that. But if you want to, you know, add in a bump map, just put the normal into the displacement like that. And the reason why I'm choosing the displacement over the normal is because it sort of has its own normal anyway, so it does a similar thing. But the normal, I don't think will do such a good job in displacing the material. Okay, so now that we've got rid of the normal, we can go into occlusion, and what we have to do with this, we just get the diffuse over here. And we can put that in there. Just may as well duplicate this mix node. Just put this up here so that the color is in the top, and then get the occlusion, put this into the bottom, and then set this to like 0.5 or something, and this is basically adding just some artificial shadow, and that's cool because we want that because it'll just add a little bit more realism. And you might be wondering why we need artificial shadow when Cycles is so realistic that it has good shadow anyway. Actually, that's a good question. I just guess it. I think it just puts in some extra shadow where there should be some shadow. I mean, that's a rubbish answer, but you know, Cycles might not do it, so let's just do it like this anyway. Okay, so spec. What we're going to do is just add in a shader, go into glossy, where is it there? Okay, and then just put this into the nothing yet, and then just get a mix shader, and then just put the diffuse into the top, the glossy into the bottom, and then put this spec into the factor. And what that would do is basically get the brighter bits on the spec map and just make them more shiny. But if you want to be smart with it, you might want to add in a converter, color ramp, like so. Make this, yeah, keep it the same. And instead of this being completely white, maybe make it a mid-grey. And instead of this being completely black, make this a sort of dark grey. And the reason why I'm doing this is if this is completely white, then the whitest or the brightest bits of the image will be completely reflective, and if we leave this completely black, they'll be completely unreflective. So if we just leave it like that, and you know, if you want to have like a tighter contrast between glossiness and not glossiness, you can bring them tighter or closer together. But I'm just going to leave it like that because it's already been sort of predetermined by the spec map there. Alright, now, oh, we could have used a normal for this. No, I'm not even going to risk it. I don't even know. Oh, no, we do need the normal thing. Just the thing I was looking at was wrong. Yeah, we need the normal thing. So bring that back. So texture, image texture. How did? Oh no, it's probably just been deleted, hasn't it? Let's just open the. Where's it? Okay, duplicate this, open up the normal, then label this, oh no, label this normal. Alright, that's cool. So, put the UV into that, and get that normal thingy out again. Normal, no, not normal map, just normal. Wait, what? That's different. Normal map. There we go. Oh, this is the one we wanted. Okay, so put the color into that, the colory thingy there. This, I don't know what this means, so just leave that alone. Texture, yeah, that, I think, no, let's just leave it, I'm scared of it. In fact, no, let's put that in. And then just put this into the, probably best put in both the gloss and the diffuse, like so. And then maybe bring this down. Yeah, maybe bring this down a little bit as well, just to keep these lines less stretched. Okay, so there we go. Now that is, you know, we're going to be doing this with a lot of wood, so it's going to take a while. So what I recommend you do is just get this stuff, all of these nodes, apart from the image nodes, leave them here. Then just press Ctrl G. Oh, hang on, it's, wait, yeah. Okay, press Ctrl G and then press Tab to get out of this thing. And originally it would just sort of go into like a big separate node editor, or, well, not separate node editor, just like a little section where you can just edit these nodes, but now I've decided to make everything green apart from these things, which is strange. But just press Tab to get out of that. And here we have our own node, and we can call this wood thing, or wood node, whatever. And this is a really cool way to just make your custom nodes, and I think you can transfer these across Blender files. I haven't really tried that though. And yeah, you can just put all of these individual things in, so and you can name, oh well, you used to be able to name these, but you can't now, so that sort of ruins the fun. Really? Can you not? Oh, I remember the days when you could name these. Oh no, you can over here. Yeah. Okay, so color 1, that is color. Then color 2 is the displacement. Wait, yeah. Oh, now the new color 2, which is that one, is the occlusion. Okay, and then the factor is the spec, and then the last color is a normal. Okay, and then the outputs is going to be displacement, and then leave that shade. And then now you can see you've labelled it all, and you can see exactly where. Oh, label wood node. And now all you have to do is just load up these images for all the wood materials and just put these in. So let's do that now. So what wood materials do we have? We've got that one, pillar. That counts. Well, does it? Yep, it does. And I'm basically determining. Is that what determining? Yeah, I think that's how you say it. On whether or not I've got all of these in the folder, because I'm sort of, basing it exactly on what I've done previously. So just duplicate this 4 times. That's 3, 4, and there we go. And then over here, just set this to disp. Let's label these as we go, actually, so I don't have to keep sort of going back. No, that's the wrong one. Let's make this disp. Okay, then call that disp. Call this color. And this one normal. This one is the occlusion. And then lastly the spec. Yeah, let's call it a spec. Okay, and now if we just delete that diffuse thingy there, because we don't need it, we don't want it, it's rubbish. We just go to you go to this add thingy, then go to group, then node group, and okay, decided to just call it node group, but this is the same thing we made earlier. Then we just put all of these in, so we've got the color, the displacement, the occlusion, the specularity. Oh, hang on, no, normal. Yeah, normal goes straight into there. Okay, so yeah. And now the displacement goes into the displacement, and the shader goes into the surface. And you see how simple that was. Saves doing all that stuff again. And now I just have to do this with all the other wood things again. So we've got pale wood. So let's call this color. Oh, is this even? Oh, damn it. Here we go. Okay, so I need to use it for this as well. And this is kind of tedious, but I mean, I don't know a single project you can work on in Blender of this sort of scale without something being tedious. And materials and cycles generally are tedious unless it's like your first time or something. And then it's exciting and new and scary, but Okay, so let's just leave it at that. Okay, so this one, we've got the color, we want this to be disp. I'm just going to call them by their extensions that Crazy Bump gave them. So this is NRM. And this one is OC. May as well. Wait, was it? No, that was Nurum, wasn't it? Yeah, Nurum. Wait, no. No, that's displacement. This one is Nurum. NRM even. Probably a better thing to call. Let's just make it capital letters. Then this one, that's the occlusion thingy. I want to put one of those funny brackets in as well. And then this last one is spec. Yeah. Then delete the diffuse, add in a node group, put all of these in. Oh, and I forgot to do the what are those things called? The I completely forgot what it's called. Wait, where's this place? Oh yeah, spec. Oh yeah, that's it, the texture coordinates, but who cares, they're not even needed. I should probably just stop. Oh, I forgot to call this thing. Wait. Right, which one's this? I think this one's supposed to be OCC. Sorry, it's just labelling problems again. Okay, OCC. Right, this one. That's the spec. Okay. Wait, no. Right. Right, OCC. That goes there. Then the spec goes there. And let's just double check that I'm doing it right by just reassigning these. I wish you would just automatically select the thingies, the nodes, when you're playing with them. Because this is annoying. Okay, so now we've done that, displacement goes there, shader goes there into the surface, and then there we go, that's just another one down. Pillar 2, is anything even using that? Oh yeah, there are. Okay, let's hope that there's no... Oh, no, there are, okay. Okay, so just do the same again, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's just name these. So that's color or col. I really should know this by now, shouldn't I? Okay, so this one is the disp. This one NRM. And then this one OCC. Or OCC. I should stop calling it OCC. Don't know why I'm doing that. And then spec. Alright, that's awesome. Delete the diffuse, add in the node group. See if we haven't done this a billion times. Let's put that in there. And there. And once again, I mean, really, I could just time lapse this because you're not learning anything. Just wasting your time. You know, just keep the video playing while you do it, probably doing this at roughly the same speed. Okay, so spec goes in there. And next one. Oh, Shrinewood. Oh, I don't... Did this one have... It didn't. Yeah, okay, don't need to do anything for the Shrinewood. Alright, that's awesome, so I've done all those. Now, let's see what this looks like when it's rendered, and everything should just look much more nice. Oh, good lord. Okay, I knew there was something up with that normal. Okay, well, if you want to just get rid of the normal thing, because this is a problem I had when I was doing this the first time. Everything was just black, and I couldn't quite figure out why. It's because I had the normal and the displacement on at the same time. So, and if we had done everything just at the same, you know, without this node group, it would be a nightmare fixing it, but it's not. All you have to do is just go into edit mode, get this normal thing, and then just tell it to go away like that. And then, oh, that's it, it's gone. You don't need it anymore. And it's the same for everything now. There's now no more normal. And now when we render this, oh, okay. Right, we need to play around with the actual things inside now, because, yeah, right, get rid of that, take that out there, and then get rid of that. Now it should look fine. And when it decides to render, Okay, it's looking fine. And alright, I think. Oh, hang on. I think we missed a material somewhere. Yeah, we did. Wait, no, did we? I thought. We'll see. Okay, so I think what might look good is if we just get these big pillars here and just bevel them a little bit, because they're looking a bit too. They're just not looking right. So yeah. Oh, and we also need to fix the fabric material, and yeah, I think once we get the fabric material looking more fabric-y, it should be fine. I think I might make the floor maybe bigger planks as well, and of course give materials to these beams. I don't even know why they didn't have them anyway. Okay, so I think that's all I need to do before we adjust the lighting again. Okay, so let's figure out what material these beams. Is it pillar? Oh, we've got material for that. Let's see, is it by any chance yeah, it's kind of a odd material, isn't it? Okay, let's just make sure I've got that open. Right. Okay, so I think maybe what I need to do is, I don't even know if I did this the first time, but it seems I need to do it now. Throw in some RGB curves and then just make it darker. And if we can just view the material. Oh yeah, I remember having this problem, yeah. Oh, okay, it seems the reason why is because the occlusion seems to have found its way into the wrong hole. Where's the occlusion? That's going up to... Oh, that's what... Oh yeah, that is a problem. Okay, with the occlusion, set this to multiply. I'm surprised everything else wasn't screwing up because of that. In fact, I might have been why everything was black. No, it wouldn't be. Okay, so set that to multiply. Get rid of the RGB curves now. There's no need for them. Oh yeah, there you can see now. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna just put the color back into the color like so. Yeah, you can see now it's looking fine. We just had a bit of a problem with yeah, the occlusion. And now everything should look a bit better now. Well, it won't. Okay, alright, well, you know. The shadows are very dark. So I need to figure out exactly how to fix that. Oh, I think the windows, they need to let some light in. That's a big problem if they're not. Well, it's not a big problem, but it's a bit of a problem if they're not, because that's sort of what they're there for. I mean, these windows on the sides are because there's actually nothing in the way. Wait, no, it's just transparency over there, isn't it? Yeah. But these other ones on the side, they need to let some light in. Okay, let's fix the fabric on the floor and put some fabric behind these scrolls, and then we should be fine, yeah. Okay, so let's do that now. So fabric on the floor, light cloth. Yeah, we need to just make it lighter. I think I used RGB curves for this. Just make it lighter like so. If we look at the material view, it's going to say it's a bit bright, and that's because it is. Let's maybe just dark it down just a bit, just so that it doesn't blend in as much with the wood material that we've got there. And it's still blending in a bit too much, I think, so a bit brighter. Somewhere like there. Oh, no. It's quite annoying playing with things when you've got them rendered. Is this rendering on the GPU actually? Oh, used to. Oh, right, yeah, that might be a problem. I'm just gonna, yeah, go to the user preferences, go to system, render this with CUDA, and now it's got CPU and GPU support. My GPU is just going to break if I try and render this in the viewport, but my CPU should be fine. Feature set experimental. I don't know. I think strand rendering works as experimental, but we don't need that, so we're fine. I don't even really know what the difference is. I'm not really one of these technical people who know all the differences. Okay, so we could leave it at that, actually. It's a bit grainy, but yeah, I think we might get away with leaving it like that, although I might just zoom right in here, and I don't even know if that makes a difference, but I think it will just give off the same amount of samples, but because we're zoomed in, it will sort of be in this area, so I might get a better look at how it's actually going to turn out. And if that's how bright it is at 3 samples, I might need to make it a bit darker, because the more samples, generally, unless it's a dark scene, the brighter it gets. I think that'll be fine, actually. I'm not too bothered. Okay, so oh yeah, fabric behind the scroll. So if we go to the scroll, there it is. This thing, just gonna add in a color. Move this over here. Add in a color mix RGB. No, it has not. Yeah, whatever. Just put that there. Set this to multiply. In fact, put this on the bottom. Then just get the fabric material. Let's get the other fabric material. Actually, that might work. So texture, image texture. Then is it just called fabric? Oh, no, to open up the other one, don't we? Instead of using the one we've got. So fabric. The lighter one that I didn't use, so I need to open that. Put that there, and then I think that would look fine. No, not rendered. Let's just look at material. And just increase the factor to 0.9 or to 1. I think maybe 0.9, because the fabric will then sort of seep through. I've just thought the fabric's looking a bit big. And if we had separate, well, if Cycles could support separate UV maps, then that wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, you know what? From this far back, I don't know. All right, so let's just leave it at that and see what happens. No need to go into extra fuss if it's not going to do anything. Alright, oh yeah, and now the windows, so let's get the windows. I think that's the right one. Yeah, that's the right one. With these, we're going to set this to translucency, like so. And just make this completely white, and then let's just see how that looks. Oh, okay. Nah, we don't want it to be completely white. I mean, it's not even doing anything. It's just making these things white. It's not actually letting any light through. Oh! Not too sure. It's not doing much. Sort of bringing light in from this side. Then it looks kind of stupid, like the whole thing. So let's just make this like a grey. And this is basically saying, you know, the brighter it is, then the more light gets through, the darker, then the less light gets through. My mouse just died. Oh, no, it's fine. Okay, so let's make it sort of like there or something, so then not all light can get through, but some can. And it's different to transparency because we won't be able to see through it, it's just letting some light through. And I think that hasn't actually changed it, so... Oh, it has in some areas. Okay, I think we're going to just mix the translucency with something, so yeah, okay, let's then go to shader, diffuse, yeah, let's make it just a orangey yellow or something. Then just go to mix shader, and let's just put that in there. In fact, no, let's put, yeah, then just make it maybe, let's make this completely white again, and then maybe have the factor at 0.8. Okay, and now Again, didn't really do anything. Oh, actually, it did do something, I suppose, but not much. Oh yeah, I didn't make the planks on the floor bigger, did I? I'm not actually too bothered about that anymore. Okay, so let's drop this down to maybe half as much. Because what I'm sort of wanting is that it keeps, it has some, like, it doesn't just look like it's completely white, so it looks like it's, you know, got some mass there. And it's sort of coming up on these edges here, but not enough. So let's actually just bring this down to 0.05. I think that might just about do it. I didn't think it'd have to get that low though. Oh, and now it's not letting through much light at all. But let's see. Okay, maybe just 0.1. Oh wait, alright, there it is. 0.1. Okay, there we go. That's sort of what I was looking for. Just so there's some light getting through, but not much at all. Because the sun's not really, you know, going to get through this side. It's coming through this side. But we just want it to look like there's some light sort of getting through from the outdoors or from other rooms, perhaps. Alright, now I had this problem where some of it's just appearing too grey. I don't remember how I fixed it. I don't think I did fix. I just sort of adjusted the material a bit more. But actually, that's not looking too bad when I look at it again. Okay, but the main problem now is there is definitely not enough light getting into this room, and yeah, we need to sort of change that. So I think we need to get a much more powerful sun lamp. And this is one of those times when I wish I would just look back at what my previous project and or my first attempt, just to get the exact values. But I don't really like to do that because I didn't, you know, I didn't have those in the first place. I'm sort of trying to do this from scratch again. Okay, so let's set this to, let's just see what 10 does, and that's probably going to be way too much. Maybe just makes it a bit more closer to a neutral colour. That's probably going to be really too much, but it's sort of tell us exactly what our limits are. Okay, might even just make the shadows a little bit softer. And that's actually not looking too bad. I thought it'd be really, you know, bright and, you know, oh, we forgot to add materials onto the weapons. We'll do that in a bit. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. I think I might bring it down to maybe a 7.5, and maybe have the size here at 1 meter, isn't it? Yeah, let's maybe have a 0.5, so it's 50 centimeters, and then maybe have this just a bit more of a yellowy orange color, and maybe have the world, you know, a brightness of 5 or something, and that should really sort of bring a lot of light. Okay, the shadows are looking a lot softer now, but so I've got to the point where I can't really see where the light is. I can just see sort of, yeah, well, I sort of can actually. You know, this isn't looking too bad, but I don't know, I sort of like those nice light streaks sort of coming in. Yeah. Oh, I don't. So I think the little tubes in the corners haven't got materials on either. Okay, well, I'm not too unhappy with that, to be honest. I think actually though I might just bring this maybe a little bit more vertical, and I know I've said I'm gonna not do that, but I just remembered in my original I had these nice sort of lights all coming in, and it would work well for volumetric lighting. And I might sort of have it rotating in that direction, so sort of just undoing not having it facing the back wall so much, and then have this just divide it by 2 just by putting /2 at the end, make it 25 centimeters, and then I think that will work nicely. And let's maybe make it a little bit more orange as well. And remember, we're going to be compositing this and adding color correction, so it doesn't have to look too orange. It sort of looked quite a bit orange then, didn't it though? But it's sort of leveling out now that more samples are being thrown in. That's not looking too bad. I think the paintings could get maybe a bit more light though. Actually they're looking okay. Yeah, I think I might just stick with that really. Could work, yeah. Alright, well let's do that then. Maybe just wait for it to get its 10th sample. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I mean, you might not be, so, you know, all you have to do is rotate the lights and change the values, and, you know, you don't need to be so much of an expert to know what good values are. You just have to, you know, it's either bigger or smaller, just keep changing until it looks right. Okay, so now we just need to add materials to the weapons, maybe these pillars, or these cylinder pillars, I don't know. Oh, we also want to bevel these pillars a little bit because they're looking a bit sharp. But yeah. Okay, so let's just kick off by beveling this. In fact, we could bevel the whole thing actually, because it's all one big thing. In fact, let's get the window grids, and then press Ctrl I so that everything else is selected. Oh, actually, window grids, paintings, the actual windows as well, that would help. Painting frames, just anything that isn't needing to be beveled. Picture, what's that? Oh, well, we don't need that. Okay, that's different things. Scroll 1, yeah, we don't want those to be beveled. Window, yep. And I think the rest of that is fine. Okay, so let's just press Ctrl I and then go to this thing, adding vertex group, call this bevel. And I didn't do this originally, but I think it would look good. So yeah, let's just add in a new bevel. Wait, what's this? Is this edge split actually doing anything? Oh yeah, it's doing quite a lot. Okay, let's add in this bevel, move it above the edge split. Edge split almost always needs to go at the bottom, and the split angle you might need to decrease. Yeah, decrease that. Yeah, 25 works. Okay, so let's just hide this cube. It's annoying me. Okay, so let's just come up here and just change the width. That's not doing anything, is it? No, that's not doing anything. Okay, so let's just 10 centimeters. Okay, maybe just add in more segments and change. I never really. Only vertices. Let's see if that does it. Oh, okay, might need to change. Let's just hide that for now, because this isn't really working, is it? I think I don't want to go into, like, you know, edit mode and bevel it like that, so I think I might just leave it, to be honest. Then it sets back to wherever it was at. I don't know, 20. That looks. Oh, I think it was at 48, wasn't it? Oh, it's not even visible. That's why. So 48. Yeah, that's what it was at originally. Okay, so forget that it ever happened. Oh yeah, the weapons. Now, making the materials for the weapons is really simple. Gold, I'm not even gonna, let's bother with it. That's just yellow in the diffuse, or yellowy orange. And you know, there are loads of tutorials on how to make gold in Blender and they're really good, but from this sort of distance it doesn't make a difference if it's just shiny yellow or gold. So I'm going to also add in a glossy shader, make the roughness rough like 0.5, and then mix shader, put that in like that, and sort of, yeah, 0.5, that'll do. Hilt, that was a holdout. In fact, no, let's just make it a shiny or a glossy black. And there is a difference. The holdout won't have any reflection, but the glossy or mixed with black will sort of just make it sort of reflective black, if you know what I mean. Sort of like a shiny black plastic. Although this wouldn't really be made out of plastic, but it's gonna have that sort of paint, if you know what I mean. Okay, that'll do. And then the blade was just complete gloss, and you know, you could go in and add some rust or something, or some sort of decay in the materials, but I'm not too bothered about that. Oh, and I think Beckman, oh wait, no, sharp, that's what we want to set this to, sharp, and then set the roughness all the way down, and that way I'll just have a perfect reflection, and that's awesome. So for the okay, same for the katana. Okay, let's press Alt H to bring back that cube. And then, did these things... Oh yeah, it does have a material, it's just not too visible. We could actually just give this... nah, too much work. Okay, let's just see how this looks. We should have a sort of finished looking thing. It's just me as the lighting difference, I can't quite tell. And the weapons are now sort of not showing up as well. Ah no, now that we get more samples they're making more of an appearance. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. So I think, unless I look carefully, I think that's it for the materials. So next part will be compositing, yeah, rendering, compositing, all that stuff, and that should be interesting because we're going to be getting some volumetric lighting, which I've already done in tutorials, but who cares for doing it again, because I'm sort of obsessed with volumetric lighting. Oh, and those dust particles, they're quite interesting. So yeah, I think you might learn a bit from the compositing, so I recommend you check that out. That should be coming next Saturday, or, well, it'll be this Saturday now by the time you're watching this, but next week, you know, if you're watching this on the week when I'm... Anyway, thanks for watching, subscribe, like the video, all that stuff. Yeah, thanks for watching, and goodbye.